everyone. I am Giancarlo Enoval, the first presenter of the Group 8 that we will going to tackle about the Philippine Presidents Diosdado Macapagal to Fidel V. Ramos. So, introduction uh, covers Philippine leadership from 1961 to 1998, period marked by reforms, dictatorship, democratic restoration, and economic recovery. The leadership period from Diosdado Macapagal to Fidel V. Ramos spans a dynamic and formative era in the Philippines. From the early 1960s to the late 1990s, during this time, the country experienced economic reform, a prolonged dictatorship, a popular revolution, constitutional restoration, and a renewed focus on economic liberalization and national unity. This report examines each president's major policies, achievements, challenges, and historical significance, with particular attention to political and socio-economic impacts. First, President Diosdado P. Macapagal, 1961 to 1965. He is focused on anti-corruption and economic reform, Agricultural Land Reform Code Republic Act 3844, and the last one is changed Independence Day to June 12th. So, President Diosdado P. Macapagal assumed office in 1961 on a platform of anti-corruption, economic reform, and social justice. He initiated significant policy shifts that sought to liberalize the Philippine economy and address long-standing structural issues. One of his most important legislative accomplishments was the Agricultural Land Reform Code Republic Act 3844. This law aimed to abolish the prevailing system of shared tenancy and convert tenant farmers into owner cultivators with security of tenure and access to credit, representing the first comprehensive land reform initiative in the country's post-war history. Macapagal also pursued economic control, removing foreign exchange restriction and allowing the Philippine peso to float in international markets. This policy was intended to stimulate export competitiveness and attract investment through it induced short-term inflation and peso devaluation. A lasting symbolic act of his administration was the change of Philippine Independence Day from July 4 to June 12, reaffirming the country's historical identity distinct from its American colonial legacy. While his reforms laid groundwork for future development, Macapagal's administration encountered persistent economic challenges and political resistance, limiting the immediate success of his initiatives.
I am the second reporter, Liniming E. Consuelo. Ferdinand E. Marcos infrastructure developed in early years. Ferdinand E. Marcos was elected in 1965 and later re-elected, becoming the longest-serving president in Philippines. His administration early years focused on infrastructure expansion, including roads, bridge, public buildings, and culture institutions. Declare martial law 1972. However, Marcos' legacy is defined largely by his declaration of martial law on September 23, 1972. Under Proclamation No. 1081, a period that marked the beginning of authoritarian rule extending well into the 1980s. Under martial law, civil liberties were suppressed, the press was controlled, and political opposition was stifled. Marcos justified this by seating threats from committees, extend his hold on power beyond constitutional limits. By the mid-1980s, the economy was burdened by inequality, was political dissent. Marcos' rule ended in February 1986 after the legacy peacefully People Power Revolution, which restored democratic governance. Corazon C. Aquino, first female Philippines president. Emerged from the People Power Revolution, Corazon C. Aquino became the first female president of the Philippines and a global symbol of democratic revival. Her administration was tasked with restoring democratic institutions and re-establish the rule of law after years of authoritarian rule. Restored democracy after the People Power Revolution. A major accomplishment of the Aquino presidency was the promulgate of the 1987 Constitution, which abolished the 1973 Marcos Constitution, strengthened civil liberties, and introduced institutional checks and balance to prevent. Aquino also created the PCGG, Presidential Commission on Good Government, to recover ill-gotten will amaze during the Marcos era. Her government, however, faced numerous coup attempts, most notably in August 1987, demonstrating the fragility of the restored democratic order and the enduring political tension within the military and civilian sectors.
Fidel V. Ramos, 1992 to 1998, focused on economic liberation and national unity, resolved power crisis, peace agreement with MNLF. Fidel V. Ramos, a retired general and key figure in the opposition to Marcos during the 1986 revolution, was elected president in 1992. His administration is noted for economic liberalization, national unification, and institutional reform. Ramos launched the Philippines 2000 socio-economic program, which aimed to transform the Philippines into a newly industrialized country through economic growth, sustainability, peace, and streamlined governance. He addressed the recurring power crisis by restructuring the energy sector and encouraging private sector participation in power generation. Ramos also pursued peace agreements with major insurgent groups, notably the Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF in 1996, advancing efforts toward national reconciliation. Economically, his policies opened previously restricted sectors to foreign and domestic investment, privatized government-owned enterprises, and promote macroeconomic stability. By the mid-1990s, the Philippines saw improved investor confidence and higher growth rates, although gains were challenged by the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Ramos' leadership is widely regarded for contributing to political stability and laying foundation for long-term economic reform. Conclusion: the period from Macapagal to Ramos reflects the Philippines' transition through significant historical phases. Macapagal pursued economic reform and national identity strengthening. Marcos presided over both development programs and authoritarian centralization. Aquino restored democratic governance and constitutional order. Ramos promoted economic liberalization, peace, and institutional stabilization. Collectively, these presidencies reshaped the Philippine political landscape, steering the nation through economic challenges, democratic revival, and efforts towards sustainable development. Their legacies continue to inform governance, debates, and policy direction in the contemporary Philippines.